Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Well, it's August, and that means that it's time for the hacker conferences in Vegas, the annual Black Hat as well as Defcon. We have both White Hat and Black Hat hackers gathered together to look at system vulnerabilities. And of course, they had a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton. Pretty unprecedented for them to do that. And yet, she really does, I think, represent job security to these people. She is the poster child for security vulnerability, isn't she? All you have to do is say, look at Hillary Clinton. You know, look at what happened to her. Don't you want to protect your data? We're going to look at some of the things that they've uncovered. But before we do, I just want to go back and remind you of what happened with President-elect Obama in 2008. He'd won the election. He was waiting to be sworn in the beginning of 2009. And if you remember, there was a lot of talk at the time about how he had to surrender his smartphone. They had a specially prepared BlackBerry, which he didn't like, that had been prepared by the NSA. They'd stripped out a lot of functionality to make it secure. Isn't it interesting that as there were all these stories, and this went on, if you remember, for about a week or two, all these stories about how Obama had to surrender his smartphone because of vulnerabilities at the very same time, Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State chosen by Barack Obama, was setting up her network of private unsecured servers, where we now know she handled, sent, and received the highest level classification above top secret in an unsecured way. So when we look at the support of these hackers, it really does have to be job security that they're looking at. But let's take a look at some of the things that they unveiled here. Wired magazine reports a radio hack that can steal your keystrokes, and it works on millions of wireless keyboards. Now, understand, we've pointed out in the past that you're vulnerable with your camera that's on your monitor, with the microphone that's there to record you. We were called conspiracy theorists and everything. But now you can see pictures of Facebook's Zuckerberg with tape over his monitor, just like Alex Jones was doing 10, 15 years ago, warning people that that was possible. And of course, now when we look at them stealing keystrokes from you, this has been demonstrated with wireless keyboards, who you understand, those are communicating with the computer via a kind of a radio setup. So that's something that's fairly easily intercepted. But now they can also go in and type using that. They can not only see what you're typing, but they can make your computer type stuff that you aren't typing to set you up or other things like that. Because we have to understand that the real sinister actors here are coming from various governments, including our own, going after people that they don't like. This is not anything new. 35 years ago, when I was working as an engineer, they had the capability to look at wired keyboards, keyboards that were connected with a wire, not broadcasting the signals in a two-way radio setup, but wired to the computer. They could tell, and they could monitor outside of the room. You had state actors who were able to do this. Any monitor, any wired keyboard could be monitored. They could look at it and see what you were typing. And this could be done by people who were outside of the building. They had tempesting programs, which are basically testing programs that you had to go through, certify the hardware to make sure that could not be done. And that was a vital part of getting most of the federal contracts at the time. But now we just put stuff on Hillary Clinton's private servers. And now it is supposedly news that an unsecured, unencrypted radio device can do this as well. And I guess the thing that surprised these people who found the hack, they said that they had no expectation that in 2016, companies would be selling keyboards without any encryption. But it gets worse than that. Take a look at the latest hack against a Jeep. And this is reported by ABC News. They say Jeep hackers are back at Black Hat with new and scarier methods. This is a pair of well-known hackers that we reported on last year. Now they found a way to take control of a Jeep Cherokee, but do it while it is moving at high speed. These two grabbed headlines last year showing how they could kill a Jeep's engine while it was traveling down a highway, and it prompted a recall of 1.4 million Jeeps and other vehicles by Fiat Chrysler. But now they say they can take over the vehicle while it is going down a road at speed. They're able to make the vehicle unintentionally speed up, or they can remotely slam on its brakes. They say if you can steer a car at any speed, that's pretty dangerous. That's right, it is. Just ask Michael Hastings about that. Remember when we told you about that? Just like the tape over the cameras and the fact that they're listening to you in the room with the computer, which they now freely admit as well. We told you at the time that happened with Michael Hastings. Look, they have the capability to do this. And of course, we were called conspiracy theorists. So they said we were paranoid about it. And they go on to say that Chrysler says that's not anything to worry about. We don't think that most people are going to be trying to do this. So they're just not going to make it secure because they don't think most people will be willing to do that. Look, here's the issue. Not only can the government assassinate people and make it look like an accident, any individual could do that to somebody else as well. It's very easy to do it. But it's not just hacking. Understand that with these systems, as complicated as they are, a software bug, a software failure could do the same thing that a malevolent hacker would do. Take a look at Tesla's Model S. This is another hack that they did, this time to Tesla's Model S Autopilot. Researchers have used off-the-shelf tools to trick the Autopilot sensors on a Tesla Model S, demonstrating that it is simple to blind the car so that it doesn't see obstacles in the path. You know, kind of like a white truck that pulls in front of you when you're going 9 miles over the speed limit, and you've entrusted it all to the car to drive you through and it doesn't see it at all. Look, we've also seen a startling admission from Google when they took out the patent for their Google self-driving cars. They took out a patent and said, we're going to work on a device that can recognize turn signals and brake lights, because they don't currently do that. But understand the mode of vulnerability here on the Tesla Model S. They say it's not time to worry about rampant carnage, though, says Tesla and the researchers, because we won't see any crashes caused by signal tampering anytime soon. Okay, fine. If you believe that, then just get in your car and turn the driving over to it. Now, they point out that this is very easily done because the Autopilot relies on millimeter wave radar, ultrasonic sensors, and forward-looking cameras, all of which measure echoes of signals that are reflected back by the obstacles. And consider how complicated this system is. Jamming attacks can prevent ultrasonic sensors from detecting objects. Okay, spoofing attacks can manipulate the sensor measurements and so forth and so on. You can even have acoustic cancellations. What will happen when they update your software for your car, like they update the software for your phone? This is one of the reasons why I think that you're not seeing Tesla doing well in the stock market, even though the stocks themselves have gone up by a factor of 12 in 13 years. Tesla has only had one single quarter in which they have turned a profit. That's 0.2% of the time. You can always make money on Wall Street if you operate on the principle of the greater fool, and that's what we see happening here. They have not been able to ship the devices that they thought they would be able to. We have seen that an investigation of this fatal accident, they came out and said, no, it wasn't on autopilot. Well, the investigation says, yes, it was, in fact, on autopilot. And even though Tesla says they have controls to keep the cars from going more than 5 miles over the speed limit, it was going 9 miles per hour over the speed limit. And so how does Elon Musk and Tesla keep going when they have lost money every single quarter except one of the 13 years they've been in operation? Of course, as Eric Peters has pointed out, we've carried this story at Infowars.com, he is the crony capitalist king. He says if Elon Musk's various projects are so Iron Man fabulous, why do they all need so much government help? Shouldn't Tesla, Solar City, and SpaceX, all his companies, be able to stand on their own merit if they actually have merit? Remember that they got $1.3 billion in crony capitalist incentives from the state of Nevada. They also got $15 million from the state of California, because they're going to provide jobs. Oh, really? Is that what they're going to do? Understand that altogether, and LA Times has reported on this as well, his ventures have gotten about $5 billion worth of subsidy from the government. Is he creating jobs with this? Look at this story from the Washington Post. Tesla's Model 3 factory could feel and look like an alien warship. In other words, absolutely no humans, which means absolutely no jobs are being created there. And they say, well, for decades, we've seen a trend in manufacturing where they put robots on the floor to help people. But Elon Musk wants to turn this into a whole new level with a factory that produces the upcoming low-cost Model 3, a machine that makes a machine, and he says it looks like an alien dreadnought. That's what he told investors on a conference call last Wednesday. He said that's what it'll look like once it is fully developed in about 5 years. He says its visage will likely inspire something between wonder and terror. He said the machine will ultimately be so complex that no humans will be expected to operate it directly or to participate in the actual building of each Model 3. That's what your $5 billion of subsidy for job creation to this crony capitalist buys you. Well, that's it for tonight's Nightly News. Join us again tomorrow night at 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern.
This is the answer for your children to totally absorb the multivitamins, the minerals, the amino acids, everything at once. Unveiled Vitamin Mineral Fusion Advanced Multivitamin Formula, 30 servings, fruit punch flavored dietary supplement. It is simply amazing. Infowarslife.com.
There's a million different products like this out there that they're good in different ways. But this takes all of the vitamins, all of the essential amino acids, all of the essential compounds and minerals that you need, puts it into something that's great tasting as opposed to like clumpy, gross stuff. And you can put it in your drink every morning. I put it in my protein shake. It is the platinum standard, in my view, of multivitamins in terms of an advanced multi-drink vitamin.
The cleanest, the purest. New stuff had to be invented. That's why it took this long to even bring us something this good.
Some companies are going to take a small amount of vitamins and make it, so there's so much filler, it looks like there's a lot. This is ultra concentrated. We're not playing games here. Okay,
well, that's my philosophy. That's your philosophy.
Yeah,
I want to, but again, there's some great stuff out there.
Yeah,
and there's other,
No, of course, definitely.
There's other powders I promote at InfoWarsHealth.com. Yeah, they're excellent. I mean, there's some good stuff out there. This is just the very best we can bring you. And when you buy it, you support InfoWars, you support the reporters, you support yourself. Tell folks about some of these other things that are in this and why this is just this total, complete package for your body. Because, again, we didn't put the synthetic amino acids. We didn't put the synthetic vitamins. We put the plant-based, high-quality, clean, natural ingredients into this.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got your standard vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin E, the list goes on.
A huge amount of vitamin C, by the way. Tell folks about that.
1,000+% of your daily value, which is what you need. Because the, FDA guidelines, we all know about those. Zinc, magnesium, selenium, L-glutamine. Each one of these you could go on for about 10 minutes about the benefits of these things. Alpha-lipoic acid, folic acid, calcium, and the list goes on. 34 other ones you can check out. Go to InfoWarsLife.com, the label's up there. You've got the entire ingredients list that you can neurotically examine for yourself. And just...
By the way, look on the other side, too, because we're showing people the... minerals and things. Let's look at the vitamins right there. All it's got in there. I mean, it's amazing.
Top left.
Again, if you're radio listeners, Infowars.com/show. Vitamin A has 4,333% from beta carotene. And what's that other source? I just know that's all the best sources.
Retinol. So you've also got your vitamin D at 1,000 IU, which is a large dose, actually. And you know what? Some people could say, well, isn't this competing with your other products? Well, yeah, you know what? We could be like some people and just take all the stuff that we sell also at InfoWarsLife.com and not put any of it, but then it wouldn't be a balanced formula, and we're not going to do that. And it might actually hurt us in the long run to put all the best stuff in here, but that's just the way we got to do it, because we can't start thinking like that.
So get them today, InfoWarsLife.com, or call toll-free 888-253-3139.